Stay tuned to hear Miss Monica correct all the facts that were wrong. That's okay, though. We all make mistakes. Never before haircuts. I'm gonna turn
For
like
other
this.
stuff, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Okay, so what are we doing here with your bangs? Let's just see.
Okay.
Well, hold on. I'm going to raise this so we can hear what you have to say. Okay.
I usually have shorter bangs.
Well, how high up do you want them? Like, how much off are you looking for?
You can do whatever you want.
I can do whatever I want. Okay, and then I also see some.
People. I love creative.
You should be careful,
Monica
Maria.
Yeah, go get my clippers, Rob. Well, first of all, Maria, I think people will know of you.
Potentially. Well, first of all, let's go back in time.
Okay, let's go back in time.
If you missed there was a fact check some time ago. If you might have missed it.
A few weeks ago.
Yes, where Dax cut my hair because I was overgrown.
Yes.
And he did a pretty good job.
Pretty good.
And since then, our friend Maria, who is joining us today.
Yeah, you saw
got
it,
inspired.
obviously.
I saw it, but also, I have heard of your haircuts.
You have?
Yes.
Okay, prior to
that.
Okay.
You heard of the reputation.
And I have seen your haircuts.
That I give myself.
No.
Oh, okay.
To your daughters.
Oh, sure.
During years, like when I think it was Delta.
Yeah, she had like a reverse bob.
Yeah, I did like that.
That was a fun cut.
She's had some great cuts.
She either goes high in back, long in front, or vice versa.
Oh, yeah.
Those are her moves.
So I have seen your haircuts. Kristen always told me, he's like, he knows how to cut hair. So I remember.
Yeah.
No, and that was in fact when I saw your daughters going like, a couple of times I was like, yeah, he knows how to cut hair.
It passed
You were
the
convinced.
test.
Yeah.
And you're in the business, so people should know you are officially in the business.
You are.
You are a makeup artist in film and television.
Yes.
For how long?
And Veronica Mars, 2003.
Okay, a long time.
2003.
Over 20 years ago.
22 years.
22 years.
And then, we worked together on the Spin the Wheel.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And Maria's done my makeup as well.
For?
Just fun.
Yeah.
Just for fun.
funsies.
I remember.
Yeah. She's very, very talented.
Very.
But to be honest, there's a lot of talented people here in Los Angeles.
Of course.
You're definitely in the mix because of your personality. You're a great makeup artist, but we wouldn't really even care if you were a good makeup artist because your personality is top notch. People, I don't know if people understand. The person you are spending the most amount of time with, more than the other actors on a set, is your hair and makeup.
Yep.
Yeah.
And more your makeup. They're not fixing, if you're a dude, they're not fixing your hair nearly as much as they're fixing your makeup.
And they're in your face.
They're
All
in
the
your
time.
face.
Yeah.
So they have to have a good personality.
And your day starts by sitting in their chair very, very early, and you guys are gonna be face to face for the next 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think it's a lot about energy. And it's like I can read people's energy right away.
You know whether they want to chat or nothing.
Yeah. And even when I talk to my husband, because he has completely the opposite side what I do. Like he goes to hospital. He is very in suits and stuff. That, for me,
You don't like
is
that.
scary. These people have dark secrets.
That scary energy. They have diseases. They have AIDS. Some of them. If you watch ER, you know
if it
that
were
a
the
lot
80s
of
or
people.
90s. But over the years, so maybe, I guess 22 years ago, you started working with Kristen.
Yeah, everything for me started with my uncle. My uncle was a makeup artist for the TV industry.
Okay.
And I was little. I was like, when I see Delta, when I see your daughters on set, it kind of reminds myself, because I was like, oh, I see all these celebrities. Oh my God, I want to meet them. I want to work with them. So everything started there because my uncle had a salon back in Venezuela, where I'm from.
Yeah, Venezuela.
And
we are uniquely attracted to Venezuela.
We have a few special Venezuelans in our life.
Yeah.
You and Anna.
I kind of need to go because everyone I meet, I'm like,
I don't think we can go, and I don't think right now they can come.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, President.
What do you call the president? Because this is one of the things I want to get to. What do you refer to the president as?
Are you even scared to talk about
no,
it?
I'm not scared. The orange president.
Yeah.
That's how I call it.
I love that.
Orange president.
It's a story there.
Is there? It's pretty Pretty
God, really?
self-explanatory.
Okay, I love Florida.
Yeah.
My family lived there. Every time that I go to Florida,
Yeah.
I see all these orange people.
Sure. That's right. Yep.
And like I go, why everybody looks here so orange? Like,
Yeah, what is happening?
It's
What
the
are they
Florida
drinking?
sun.
Yeah.
Florida
Yeah,
sun.
it's like, and then when I go there, I'm Latin, but they go, oh, you need to go to the beach.
They think you're too white.
Yeah, or like you have like you need color.
You look
pale.
unhealthy.
Yeah, and I'm like, no, I am very healthy. Like I look normal. You are the ones that
Are orange. Also, that's
So-
where they make a lot of oranges. That's where most of the
That's right.
citrus is coming from, other than California.
And
Perhaps.
That's what we do as a society. We mimic the fruit that is native to our region.
But over the years, you have so many cute Maria-isms. The original one I ever heard, like before I ever met you even, Kristen said, oh my God, my makeup artist is so fucking cute on Veronica Mars. And of course, Kristen can mimic anybody.
yes, yeah,
Right?
she does. Yes,
Because also, when you weren't around, Simone's around, and she has a German accent. So Kristen, she can do Simone perfectly. She can do you
Yeah.
perfect. And she said, yes, she was telling me about a sandwich, and she said that it had rough beef.
yeah. I remember that. A lot of people know me because of that
Because of
story,
rough beef.
and a couple of other ones too.
Yeah.
I try, but like sometimes my accent, it doesn't kind of roll.
Yeah,
But
that's
do we have the
normal.
same memory that I think on Spin the Wheel, I actually figured out what was going on. I think everyone assumed you were mispronouncing roast. And I'm like,
Yes.
is it that, or were you actually like, it's rough beef? Were you intending to say rough?
Yeah.
And you felt like, yes, you were.
Yeah. And actually, every time that I say that word, I remember that coming from school, little, and enter my mom kitchen. And I'd be like, no.
Oh, you didn't
No rough
like
beef.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And And actually, Kristen was the only one who was like, Maria. Okay. It's not roast. It's roast.
It's roast.
Yeah. It's not rough. And
Yeah.
I was like, it's rough beef. It will always be rough beef.
Yeah, it's better. I like what you're saying.
Okay, and then the newest one, and this one made its way to Kimmel, which was you. Kristen came to work. She told you the story, how I had said to Lincoln.
Oh my God, yes.
She's having a very rough morning. I
Yep.
said, look in the mirror. I'm a bad bitch, and I'm going to fuck this day up. And you really liked it.
Yeah, that will actually stay with me because, being in the business for the TV industry is some days like they're amazing days, but sometimes even like actors or anything, like you want them to kind of like get out of that, what happened.
The funk.
Yeah, or like give them a signal, like you're better.
Yeah.
Just don't you don't have to drag that all day. Like that is stay with me.
Right.
Like when she told me, and I was like, oh,
She was having a uniquely terrible day on set,
yeah,
and you were like, oh my God, I know what to do.
yeah.
And you looked at her and you said, what?
I don't remember anymore,
Kristen?
Dax.
Kristen?
Yeah.
Remember, you're a bitch, and you're going to fuck everything up.
And then when I was like, and then I was like, oh my God, I say it wrong. But then I look at her, and then
That was the magic thing. I made her so happy.
that's
right?
what she needed to hear.
yeah,
really.
and then she looked at me, and then she started laughing, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I just say that. I didn't really I was like my brain didn't really in my mouth say something else. So I was like, but I know Kristen, I know her for so long that I was like, she'll be fine. She'll be fine.
Yeah,
she
yeah,
knows what I
No,
meant.
you made her day.
Yeah, it was more than fine. It was a blessing that
Yeah.
you said you're a bitch and you're going to fuck everything up.
Yes. And that's why I did the mirror in her makeup bag. Because if something happened, like I would say, like exactly before camera roll, and you see something like a message, like a secret message that you only be able to see it, nobody else in the room,
Yes.
it will help you.
Yeah, so you
Anything.
can just show her the mirror.
Yeah, someone send you a secret there, and you only will know,
Yeah.
and it will get you better. That make my day.
Yeah. Okay, let's get cutting.
Let's get cutting.
Yes, you're going to have to lean forward a bit.
Yeah.
This will be which is now going to be the pattern in this barbershop. I'm never doing what I would normally do, which is stand.
Right. That's right.
So we're going to
Okay.
do the best we can with
Yeah.
this. And I'm going to
You're the
also talk to...
seated butcher.
Yeah, I'm going to talk to Monica. First, I need to see what's happening here. Okay.
Dax, how nervous are you right now?
I'm not too nervous, but I will say that what I have to do is see the shape that exists already and be very consistent with the shape, which I think I'm going to be able to do. I'm going to commit to a certain amount off, and I'm going to follow the line that exists.
But Maria's so pretty, and like you might ruin her whole face.
That's the comfort. I couldn't
Wait,
ruin
I
your
have to
face.
see this. I have to say this.
Yeah.
You know, in COVID, I let my husband cut my hair.
In COVID?
It was not straight. I had a bob kind of, and the bob was like higher, and then like it was like angled like this.
Okay, yeah.
And I need to say this. I took a picture of that because I had to take a picture for something for my profile.
Mm-hmm.
And the bob was like this, right? And I was like, I would hate this. And then I saw it, and that's a picture that I use for everything.
You love it.
Yeah, no, and people tell me, where'd you get that haircut?
Oh, they love it.
And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes life gives you
So-
happy accidents.
Yes.
Okay, first cut is about to happen.
Yes. We're going to get this chunk right here, and we're going to get on it. And I'm not going to cut myself this time. And Monica's going to tell us a story while this happens.
Oh, I was not prepared for that.
Tell Monica.
Monica always has a story.
I do normally have a story. Let's see what's been going on with me. Maria, have you watched the show You?
Great. This
On
is your favorite
Netflix?
I
question.
did.
You did?
You
I think the
did.
first
Wonderful.
season.
Okay.
But yeah, I like it.
Too freaky for you?
It is. It was.
No, it's actually really good.
Actually, Maria, I'm glad you're here because this.
She's the first person who said that she's seen you, right? You've asked now 20 or 30 people.
I've asked a lot of people.
And I think you're the first, Maria.
And you knew, I didn't even have to clarify a show on Netflix. You
Yeah.
knew exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah.
No, but I'm glad you're here because this is what I've been thinking about for the last 24 hours.
Okay.
Tell me.
Yesterday, and we're not going to give anything away, but yesterday we had a crazy day. We had 2 interviews, and the first was an expert, and the second was a celebrity.
An actor.
An actor.
A sexy celebrity.
A sexy celebrity actor
Yeah,
that
very sexy.
was a very big get for us. Both were great.
Okay.
The first one is with the expert is so fascinating. Dax and I were really anxious about the celebrity, more so than normal. I don't want to say we get through the first interview because we were very engaged and it was super interesting. But I'm going to be honest, I do think we were 10% distracted.
Okay.
Sure.
You know, it's just
It's
the truth.
playing in the background of yours
Yes.
mind. You're like, oh, okay, how many
Yeah.
hours? Yeah.
But do you want to you're not sure if you want to pick for the very interesting or a celebrity?
So, okay, this is who should we be, technically, who should we be more distracted for in
Well,
this
and that's
life?
there's something funny. Yeah, there's something funny about that question because in reality, the expert required a lot more knowledge on my behalf. I had to really deep dive into a complex subject. And yet that should be probably more nerve-wracking. And of course it's not.
Well, and then that's what I've thought about after we finished the day yesterday a lot. We were so relieved after the day was over and we were happy and, we were talking about it. And then it just sort of, I started to feel really sad.
Oh, wow.
Why?
Explain that. I want to know about that.
I just started thinking about our first guest, and we did not treat anyone poorly yesterday. I was just like, man, we should think.
You're being a very, if you were at a salon and they were treating you this way, you'd be like, hey, can't you do this without combing directly in front of my eyes?
Right. I will go with, I don't know. I will be more interested in the expert than,
So yeah, so I was like, there's such an imbalance in this world.
Oh, this is nice.
but I don't know.
Oh, you're saying we're valuing, you felt guilty we're valuing the wrong things?
Yes. I just wish it was equal. And I'm not saying I wish other people should. I myself was doing it. There's something that felt sort of unfair and unjust, and it all started to make me sad. And the man we had at first he's Pakistani, but he looked kind of like my father.
I think that's a lot of what's going on for you with the way you're having these second thoughts and guilt feelings. I think it's like you're imagining your dad came in here.
But that's what we do. That's how we're able to see it, right, in life. Like you get a glimpse into something that you're connected to, and that is how you see. And I did. I was like, if my dad was somewhere talking to someone about this incredible, like this person's brilliant, and has incredible knowledge, and the people there are kind of half distracted a little bit because they have this like beautiful
white gas coming on.
It's not white. I just think we as a society we definitely treat people differently, and we think about people differently.
Well, we're status animals.
That's true.
But it makes me like, I don't want that. And I think it hurts everyone.
Yeah, this turned out good.
I always go like this.
Monica.
Actually, this,
do that. Do the whole thing you do. And now look at Monica, and she'll either gasp like, oh, you fucked it up.
It looks really nice. Great cut.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, we like that. I'm going to double check I have no straights, because a lot of times you think you got them all.
Oh, God.
I laugh because when people cut hair or people do your makeup and you see their face.
Yes, we all have like our concentration face.
Yeah.
Mine's usually tongue out. Okay, we're sticking with that. That's it. We did it.
It's really nice. It looks great.
I don't know if you know the rule. I only cut people's hair once. It's this weird thing I have. Well, it's not even weird. We understand it exactly. I want to prove to you I can cut hair, but I don't really want to cut hair a lot.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. Okay, so you want her conclusion on...
Well, you're on a set with that there's a big hierarchy on sets. People are overvalued and people are undervalued. Mm-hmm. And I wonder how you feel about all of that.
And maybe I can offer an actual concrete detail, because this one I have felt bad about in the past. Yet I'm going to still do it. I'll bring my kids to work. And everyone's like, oh, fun, the kids are here. And I'm like, this is really unfair. The rest of the folks that work here can't bring their kids to work. Like, you're not going to show up with your kids. Maybe you could, like, one day it would be a thing.
I mean, if it's an emergency.
Yeah.
But I know where you mean.
Yeah, like she could bring her kids to work every day.
You're not bringing your kids for fun. You're not, like, so they can see set.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But she
Although you got to go with your uncle, so I guess it does happen.
Yeah.
But that's one where I'll go, like... Yeah, this is a little bit unethical. Like, I shouldn't really do this because not everyone else can do it. And then I go, and by the way, this is back to parenthood. That's only, and maybe I brought the kids once or twice to bless this mess. But I was also like, yeah, it's not fair. And also, if I can bring my kids to work, I'm going to do that. You know? Like, what I would want is for anyone to be able to bring their kids to work, ultimately. Yeah. Unless it was really getting in the way. But
I mean, it gets in the way, though. Like, let's be honest.
And actors bring their dogs and shit.
Really no one should bring their kids to work on a set, or dogs. Like, they bark and they make noise and they are a distraction, and it is unfair.
Yeah.
And some people get a pass and other people don't.
Yeah.
And I do get kind of wrapped up in the unfairness of it. And it's more like, I think it hurts everyone. We are all people.
Yeah.
And everyone on a set is a person and should be... There really is no better or worse. But that's not the way we tend to, as animals, behave.
Okay, this is so dangerous. But yes, nobody is better than anyone on a set. No one has more value as a human being.
Yeah.
But there is also a reality where that is not true. So Maria could have a shit day and do kind of okay at her job, and the actor can't. The whole reason everyone's there is so that this thing is a product that goes to the television set. And other people can kind of fuck up their job and not get it right. What has to happen is that. And then you go even further, why is that person there? Well, they bet on that person because they've already succeeded on TV a bunch of other times. Now, whether or not your makeup and hair department's great isn't going to predict at all whether people watch the show. That's just a market reality of these different jobs. So they intrinsically do have different values for the goal at hand. They don't have different values as humans on planet Earth.
That's what I'm talking about. It shouldn't be that you're over the top nice to one person because they're an actor, and you could care less how you treat the PA.
I agree.
We're people. Everyone should be treated. I understand.
The same.
Yeah.
Even what you do or how you look or how whatever it is.
Yeah. Even if you're technically replaceable as your job.
Yes. And for me, that is 100% true. And when you are at craft service and you're talking with the B camera operator, you should be having an equal to equal conversation because you're both humans.
Yeah.
Now, if we're under the gun and we have to get the shot, or it's going to kick to the next day and it's going to cost $200,000, and the lead actor is having an issue, that is the most important. It's just...
Yeah, that is handling the most important problem
and
is different than how you treat people.
But also how we might have to tiptoe around the actor who's got the crazy scene where she's just been raped and she's going to go to the police department and have her scene. She also is entitled to way more delicate kid glove treatment because we recognize what has to happen, and we recognize that that's harder than other jobs where you don't have to be in an emotional state to operate the dolly. I do think it ignores a certain reality to just say everyone needs to be treated the same on a set because we're all of the same value. I think it's both things. If someone on the ship has to get sick and we're in the middle of a voyage to another country, in order, we'd have everyone get sick, and the captain would be the last person we would have get sick. Because all of our livelihood or all of our life is dependent on that person more than anyone else there. And the livelihood is more dependent on a few people that are there than on others. And so I think it would also be irrational to think there's not going to be different treatment given those circumstances.
I understand both of the points.
Yeah.
Everybody have to be treated equally, but at the same time, because I don't know, in that TV and film industry, then the reason that we're doing the show is because number one, or number two or three, you know what I mean? And
on the call sheet, you're saying?
Yeah.
Right. So
I say one.
They order the actors and really their importance to the project.
Yeah. And then that's when you're okay, starting from there, this is it, number one, number two, and number three. I always feel oh my God, they're acting, but their body is going through that too.
Yes, definitely.
They're not pretending.
Yeah.
You think you see it on camera, and yes, for you it's pretending, but it's not, because their stages or what they're going through and their body is also that is happening.
Yeah.
In a way
I'm
on
not
set.
saying acting isn't hard.
We could also take it out of film and television and put it in sports. It's let's say there are two team trainers on the Chicago Bulls that can give massages. And unfortunately, it'd be insane to not make sure Michael Jordan has a dedicated one of those people. Now, is it fair that not everyone gets a massage or doesn't have a trainer spending attention on them? Maybe it's not fair, but it would be a really terrible plan to not prioritize Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen for those limited resources. And I think that's a little bit how a film set operates as well. It's there aren't infinite resources and infinite breaks and infinite all this stuff. There is finite of everything. There's a budget. And so you start prioritizing in order of how important they are to the project. And so you can be not more important as a person, but you can definitely be more important to a project.
Exactly, though.
Yeah.
So there's no finite amount of kindness towards people.
Right.
It's not I only have this much, so I guess I got to give it to the most important person on the project.
But we're going to give parking spots out differently. We're going to give...
I know, but we're getting kind of far away from what I was talking about, because what happens here is not that.
Everyone gets the same interview.
Yeah, everyone gets an interview for the same amount of time.
Yeah.
Both of these people are exceptional.
Yeah.
There is no getting around that.
Yeah.
Both are, and yet there's something that happens in the human body for a certain echelon of celebrity that just happens. It happens to all of us. I'm not pointing fingers. I am part of this problem, but I was just very aware of it after the fact.
Yeah. But you tend to be a little harder on yourself than I do, when you... like something, or you feel bad that you value one of those two people more than the other. Like you feel bad about.
I feel bad that I had a reaction towards one person that I wouldn't have towards another.
But there's a very, very stark reality to the two guests. One has the potential of getting 10 million views, and one has the potential of getting 1 million views.
Yes.
Even if the first guest, if we do it perfectly, it'll get about 1 million views. Now, the variability in the second guess, if we don't do a good job, it's going to be okay. If we do a great job, that's a big game changer. So it does have a different value intrinsically.
It has a different value, and I think that's something that's like an easy thing to tell ourselves. Like it's because the stakes are higher, job-wise for that. But that's true. That is true, and that's not what is happening. That's not what's happening for me before this person enters. Of course I do. I am like, oh my God, I really hope this goes well.
Yeah.
But there's something visceral that happens when you know that person's going to walk in the room.
Well, there's that.
That is different than what happens before guest number one walks in the room.
You know, celebrities are persons. And for me, celebrities is not celebrities because we all do what we love. So for me, you're a person. So,
yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
That's sort of my point.
You know, and like everything for me is like, oh, I like this person. Like if you guys go for the more interested one, I'll be like, oh yeah. You know what I mean?
You will like the first guest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
you would like that. You generally like experts more.
Yes.
And we generally like experts more because all we're going to hopefully do with a celebrity is learn their life story because we're all very interested in what their life story is. And hopefully we'll hear some things about their life that we haven't heard previously because who wants to hear it all over again?
And some things about the way they think of the world based on their unique experience in this life.
Yeah. And then an expert, we're literally going to learn a new concept.
Yes.
And we might then at a dinner party talk about this new thing. I mean, we have this revenge addiction guy on, and I just can't stop thinking about it. Everything I do, everywhere I'm at, I'm talking about. It's like, yeah, this guy introduced an entirely new way to think about things for me.
Yeah,
So,
the experts have changed my life.
Exactly.
The celebrities are wonderful, but they haven't.
what is on the table with the celebrity, which I do value almost nearly as much, is we do, on occasion, get an emotional exchange that is so profound, and to be doing it with a relative stranger is insanely rewarding. And I will think about that as much as I think about a new concept. So there's like two different offerings on the table. And I hope when we have an expert on that I can be the layman and convey this as much as I can. And we all walk away with a new concept. And then when it's a celebrity, I hope we have an emotional exchange that is like very genuine and memorable and you can feel.
Yeah. I just think it's I think it's my journey in this life to really, because I started out feeling so inferior.
Okay.
That it is really my journey to understand that everyone really is equal. And I think I'm like there, so I might die soon. They might unplug me because I think I'm getting really close.
But Monty, don't you think...
What?
Don't you think a bit, though, that you felt underappreciated and low status?
Mm-hmm.
And so you, as we all project our own baggage, you're very fearful that someone else is feeling that way.
Well, I see it all the time.
You're kind of on high alert.
I mean, I see it, though. It's not, we can't act like people don't revere.
Have different status.
Yeah, and revere celebrity over scientists.
That's not my pushback at all. It's whether or not they feel bad.
Oh, the person.
The person.
Yeah.
Because, yes, status is a real thing. Mm-hmm. It's almost measurable. We have lots of markers for status.
Yeah.
That's real. But whether or not the person's feeling like you're treating them low status, that's completely up to each person.
Sure.
Wait, I have a question for you guys.
Yes.
Because that's like, everybody in this universe have status. Like,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Finance status?
Financial, intelligence. Academic achievement.
Yeah.
Your social network. Are you associated with lots of high status people who are financially and economically and all these things? There's physical status. You can be very attractive. There's strength status. There's like any number of ways we could measure two people. We can measure their income. Well, which one's higher? We could measure their strength. Which one's higher?
So, but which one will you erase from your world?
Well, I'll tell you the one that
Yeah.
I'm not impressed by. I don't care if someone's rich.
Yeah, me either.
I'm like, but I see it a lot. You're around people and just they're the richest in their group and they have all this sway and people are kind of enamored by them, want to be close to them. And I'm just like, yeah, there's got to be something way more going on than that. Maybe the way they got rich would be interesting and I would, be enamored by them. But yeah, if you're just rich, who gives a fuck? Because you could just be a trust fund kid. Like, what is impressive about that? But with the richness comes the cool car and the cool house and the cool vacations.
Things. Yeah. I think financial status is.
But I'm impressed by all the other stuff. Like if you're crazy talented, I am. If you're very attractive, I like that. If you're super smart, I love that. Like I do covet a lot of these status markers, or I'm affected by a lot of these status markers. Like I'll say this: when we're with Bill Gates, he's arguably, in the top 10 in the world of status. And him being rich is like the least interesting part. And it's the one we think about the least. I think about it the least when I'm with him. I'm just constantly.
But when we were first talking to him, we thought about it.
We did. You're right.
And then now, obviously, we don't. But remember, we were like,
he says $130 billion.
Like, how does that? How does a person have that? You can't help it. These are ways of being. These are how humans are. But I am trying. I think it's good for me anyway. I'm not telling other people what to do. I want to move away from it, not toward it.
Yeah, I think that's the fundamental way you and I differ.
Yeah.
You think we should and can transcend status as a species. And I don't think social animals can ever transcend status. I think you have to accept it. You have to learn how it's affecting you. You have to learn how to deal with it the way we have to learn how to deal with many of the vestigial things we're stuck with. We want to eat more food than we need. Yeah. It's never going to change. That's how humans are. So we got to figure out a game plan around that. But I don't think you will ever live in a world with social animals where there's not status. I don't think that's a goal we even achieve or should even waste time aiming at. It's more like, how's this thing we're stuck with affecting your emotional state, and how can you help limit the amount of fallout from that?
I've changed a lot in the way I view status. Like
how you evaluate people's status.
Yeah, like when I first moved here, I was definitely before I moved here, like, people who were famous and celebrities, they were so cool, and I was definitely overly impressed.
Yeah.
And I really, again, maybe that's why also this is coming up, because I haven't felt this feeling in a long time. I haven't felt this feeling that we had yesterday where I was like nervous, because I don't care anymore. We have all these famous people on, and I don't think, they're famous, or they're cooler than me, or they're better than me at all. Yeah. So that's a huge shift.
You know what's great, though? Can I just tell you something nice? You were so fucking confident yesterday that you didn't let that get the best of you in any way. You were almost cocky in the way that I love when you're cocky.
You always translate very well, Monica.
Thank you. It did fall away quickly.
Yeah. But you were yourself. You were like, when I say to you, like, you've said different people you dated, you started to evaluate more like, who am I when I'm with them?
Yes.
And
not who are they, who am I?
Who are you? And then certain people brought out certain sides of you. And I just left yesterday thinking like, oh yeah, that's the best, most confident side of Monica.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think part of it's
because of that.
I was enormously
proud of you, even
really?
though. Yeah. Well, I called you and told you how much I appreciated.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think part of it's based off that stubbornness. Like, I'm not gonna let this person with all this status that everyone's like, everyone's texting after how was this interview? How was this interview? Nope. You're not gonna let me feel
that way. When I started, and I was, on the show and TV series and stuff, they used to tell me this person's gonna, you're gonna do their makeup. This person's gonna, but But, I'm from South America, Venezuela. So for me, I don't know these people.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
A superpower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember one time I started like going, I'm going to do it. And then I started going, read about them, show them. And that I couldn't handle.
Yes, too intimidating.
It was too much for me. I learned through the years being in the industry that I don't Google anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
smart.
it's a good policy.
I remember this story, and this actress, I don't know, I have never seen her after that. She was like, her look was very serious, but she was the sweetest thing. But nobody really...
They were afraid to talk to her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, Maria, how like you are so friendly with her? Nobody really talked to her.
Right. It's like just...
They were intimidated.
Yeah, like even like the crew, and I'm like, well, I have to do her makeup. I love her.
Yeah.
And we click, and you know what I mean? But that's the thing. It's like sometimes you're outside, it doesn't really match what is inside.
Maria, this was so fun having you a part of the banter.
Yes, thank you for joining us and getting your haircut. It looks
Yes.
beautiful.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you,
I
Dax.
think-
Thank you, Monica.
I'd stand by that cut. I
Yeah,
hope-
you were the inspiration. At that day, I was like, when I saw Kristen and said, I'm like, you need to tell Dax that he needs to trim my bangs because I need. And she was like, okay.
Well, you did a great job.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys. I
Yeah.
appreciate
I know it's only
it.
going to be once. It's okay.
I might do you a second time 'cause
Okay.
I like you so much.
Okay.
Wow,
Yeah.
lucky.
Any actors out there who have a choice, if they get to pick who their makeup artist is, I could not recommend Maria more. I had so much fun.
Yeah.
You, Amy, and I had so much fun on that insane
Oh, yes.
game show with a 5-story wheel.
By the way, I have to say this. You in that suit look very sexy.
Oh,
There you go.
And
you.
I actually sent that to KB because she didn't have the picture. And I remember I was like, you need to see your husband in this picture. And she was like, okay. And I'm like, send it to you. Because I remember it was like a suit and like, I don't know, like so much money in the bag.
sure.
Yeah.
That helps.
And I remember, so she has it. And things like that you need to say.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I love you.
No, I love
Thanks
you.
for coming.
you,
Yeah,
Monica.
this was
So good to
fun.
have you.
Stay tuned for more Armchair Expert, if you dare.
We are supported by Domino's. I have the app.
Me too.
It's not talked about in this ad spot, but I do got to give a shout out to the lava cakes. They're outrageous.
I want it right now.
At long last, Domino's finally has stuffed crust pizza, and not just stuffed crust, Parmesan stuffed crust.
Oh, man. What are you waiting for?
Who doesn't love a little Parmesan? Nobody. That's who. It's hard to believe it's taken them this long to make a stuffed crust pizza, but let me tell you, this was worth the wait. They've taken their buttery flavored handmade pan pizza dough and stuffed it with melty cheese. And if that wasn't enough, they topped it with garlic seasoning and, yes, real Parmesan.
I can taste it.
I love mine smothered with pepperoni.
Ooh.
Oh, the more the better. Okay, all this talk about Domino's has got me hungry, and I think I've got tonight's dinner plans all figured out. Order Domino's new Parmesan stuffed crust pizza on the Domino's app and use code DAX to get any 3-topping Parmesan stuffed crust pizza for $11.99. That's code DAX on the Domino's app to try it today. Prices higher in some locations. You must ask for this limited time offer. Prices, participation, delivery area, and charges may vary. Delivery orders subject to local stores' delivery charge. Shan.
So there aren't very many facts for Shan.
Shan brought the facts.
She really did. She brought the facts. Weirdly, Sam Rockwell comes up, which is wild because he was our guest earlier this week.
What was said about Sam Rockwell?
The
speech in White Lotus.
The speech in White Lotus, yes, came up. And if you missed that episode, it was earlier this week. And we do talk about that speech a fair amount. Where are the pleasure centers in the brain? Okay. The nucleus accumbens is often referred to as the pleasure center of the brain. It's a subcortical brain structure involved in positive effect and feelings of reward. When we engage in pleasurable activities, the nucleus accumbens becomes activated, leading to the release of dopamine, which reinforces the behavior. It's located in the ventral striatum, a part of the basal ganglia.
Basal ganglia.
Also, the orbitofrontal cortex, particularly in a mid-anterior subregion, according to some neuroimaging studies, is also a site for pleasure.
I wish you would have got into a little bit how men are more visual by nature than women. That's curious to me.
You wish she had?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like some kind of explanation for that.
Did Stifler get a prostate orgasm in American Pie? No, Road Trip.
Oh, Road Trip.
There is, I guess, a scene where he's milking the prostate.
I remember it well. A nurse is in his ass. And yeah.
Good for him.
Sounds great.
And that's it.
That was it.
She brought a lot.
Stifler was in Road Trip when he got milked.
I mean, some of the facts I didn't feel comfortable checking.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. But, you know, some of those Googles, I don't need to do.
You were afraid some images would come up?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I trust her anyway. She's a master class.
I mean, you got to trust the master class.
Got to.
All right.
All right.
Love you.
Love you.